Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Young Time World. I hope you guys are doing good. Today we're not reviewing anything, but we'll be reviewing something later, so you don't worry your sweet little beautiful heads. However, I do want to talk about the concept of darkness and light. It's something that has been on my mind ever since I woke up from bed, and ever since I was dying to get out of my room. Now, for as long as we've known, light and darkness are the known opposites. When you talk about light, you understand that darkness has no part to play when you mention light. Or it does, but it's an inverse way. If darkness exists somewhere out there, light is able to expose things in the dark. So thus, whatever is known to be in the dark is exposed by the light, and therefore, or we understand that the relationship between light and dark is one that is a constant battle. Darkness is always there before the light, and light requires energy. Light requires power. Because when there is no power, there's darkness. And when there's darkness, lots of things can go unseen. Chaos can easily reign in darkness than it can in light. Because people don't like their actions seen. That is why if a person had the ability to be invisible, their ability to commit offenses rise, because no one can see them. No one can know their atrocities, so they can do whatever they want. And that says a lot. Now, on the other side of this whole thing, our world is filled with instances where darkness exists in light. Now, I don't mean that like in a sort of physics or science sort of way. I mean that in a metaphorical sense. When a person who is darkness portrays themselves as light, you cannot see it, and thus you think it does not exist. There are most of the times where we put our trust in a lot of people. Most of the time, those people are not to be trusted. But it's not like you made a dumb decision or you closed your eyes and made that decision. You looked at them. You made a conception of their action each and every single day. You thought about them. And you made the conclusion that they were worthy of your trust. But at the end of the day, they still betrayed that trust. All because you gave them the opportunity to. The darkness, hiding in plain sight. The darkness hiding in places where you wouldn't expect it. Now, when we look at the general view of religion, you know, the holy people go to the temples and the churches. But oddly enough, you'd have cases where the priests or those quote-unquote men of God find themselves in scandals, sleeping with children, sleeping with adults, sleeping with married women. Why? I figured the closest you are to the light, the less you would be tempted into the darkness. So how is it that it's so common to find such a situation? Well, then it means that their light was never genuine. It means that they pretended to have the light. Because I'm sure that there are good ones out there. There are those who have accepted the light and they blaze with an infernal glory. And nothing can corrupt their path. They may stumble and they may fall, but they will always get back to it. But there are those who are not striving for that kind of perfection. There are those who are pretending just so that people will not judge them harshly. They're living a lie. They're doing things that they do not want to do. Because, to be honest with you, they couldn't bear to have people hate them. It's like when you're a child and you're born in a house of Christians, of religion. Well, let's just take any other religion. If you're born into a family of Buddhists, you would obviously have your entire family tell you which religion to go to. In fact, it's not a question. They're not going to ask you questions. When it's your holy day, you're going to go to the temple. You're going to pray as they have. They're going to instill into you the doctrines of their religion because they believe it is what is best for your salvation. They believe that that is what is best for your salvation. And most of the time, children don't really understand what they're doing. You could recite the Lord's Prayer or any other for that matter. You can recite it as soon as you wake up from bed, as soon as you get into bed. You can, you can rehearse and revise every single scripture that exists and still be the worst kind of fornicator this world has ever seen. Understanding plays a key role in becoming part of the light. But there are those who don't care. I always felt like the more time I spent closer to the temple, the more time that I spend sitting there at his mercy throne or his pulpit, the more I would be inclined to be righteous. But you see, that is not the case. I've witnessed with my own eyes that there are those who can really pretend that they're in there with Christ or in there with their religion. But it's only a face. It's only a deception. They can invite you to meetings. They can sit you down and tell you about the wonderful testimonies that the Lord has given them. They can do every single thing in pure perfection and still have so much darkness it could kill you. And then it becomes one confusing piece of work Because now the person who is trying to draw you to the light is darker than ever. I am such a hypocrite. I thought that just because I had those close to me, religious, I thought that since they were religious, that religion would rub off on me, and therefore I would be religious too. You know, I figured that was the case. I tried to lead those that were close to me to the light, but then I realized that there was darkness inside of me the whole time, so I stopped. I needed to figure out the darkness itself, understand it, embrace it, and then let it go. There's more to this world than we can ever understand. But if you knowingly are trying to use religion as a scheme to get rich, as a scheme to get favors from others, maybe you need to ask yourself, what exactly do you consider religion to be? A way to fill your pockets, or a way to get closer to the one who created you? Because I'm not reading from a scripture. I'm not taking my time to pick out the right verse to get into your hearts. I'm a man walking to McDonald's. A person whose entire empire goes beyond comprehension. But humility is still part of my soul. So I'm going to tell you this. You can do whatever you want. But do not make a mockery of what God is trying to establish with men. If you decide to come for me, yes, do so. I don't exactly think I've said anything offensive, but who knows? A lot of things get to offend people these days. But the truth can never offend. I mean, yes, it can, but it's not supposed to. The truth can incite conflict, it can incite chaos, but it will not make you go into the chaos. It is your actions after you've heard the truth that puts you in that situation. Maybe stop trying to follow all the rules that they've set before you in religion and start understanding what you're here for. Maybe ask God a question or two, and rather be so bothered by what the pastor would say. Try and listen to what God says. Because if you really, truly seek Him out, you're not going to need a pastor. You're not going to need a man of God to tell you what you must and must not do. Because He's more than willing to help His children. You need to understand that. You need to understand that whatever chaos that exists on this plane, every piece of reality that you have not understood is something that He's already aware of and He's already in control of. You think to yourself that these people with their magic and their lies, you think they can help you? There are those who have drifted off the path of God a long time ago, and yet they stand in churches and preach their hearts out. When I say preach their hearts out, I really mean it though. They have studied the Word, and they're well versed in making you empty your pockets, for money. Now, I'm not saying that giving money in a church is a bad thing. You must understand where your heart lies. Because for all you know, you might not be giving your offering to a church of God. You're probably giving it to the church of hell. How would you know? I've always said this before, that the devil has existed a long time. Lucifer, Lucy boy. He's been on this platform for the longest time, since he was tossed out of the heavenly group chat. He's on this earth longer than any of your ancestors, longer than anything that you've ever known, longer than earth itself. He's watched it from afar and up close. We're talking about a person who's not exactly been an enthusiast of our existence, because he knew what has existed before time itself. So what makes you think that he hasn't turned into Batman himself, making backup plans for backup plans for backup plans? And if he is also a believer, then we're looking at a person who knows he's going to die. And if he's going to go down, I doubt he intends to go down by himself. This is Young Titan. You guys have a great day.